Hi there, I'm Rebecca and a really warm welcome back to my channel, PumpkinBecki. In this week's video, it's all about Evie and her trip to the vets. Let's get started. So little Miss Evie is 3 years old now. I thought she had a swollen bottom lip. When I investigated further, I noticed that her top teeth were coming down, but they'd kind of sharpened themselves into quite a point. And then her lower teeth were almost being pushed apart by those top teeth. And they'd also sort of moved sideways and round slightly. And what I thought was a swollen lip was actually her gum. The gum in front of those lower incisors was just a really hard lump. So I started her on Metacam straight away, which is a painkiller, which you get prescribed by your vet. And I also started her on some liquid vitamin C, which is highly recommended for guinea pigs in distress, let's say. She looked very bright in herself, and I managed to clip the point of her top teeth myself with the claw clippers. It's definitely a two-person job, and she didn't appreciate it, but once the teeth were straight, she was sort of able to function a bit better. She looked more comfortable, so that's good. I couldn't get an appointment at my vet's for a day and a half. And I don't know what's going on at the moment, but there are just no vets out there. Clinics are crying out for vets, certainly here in my county. My surgery is on sort of skeleton crew. They normally serve 3 different practices, and my little practice is like a satellite branch, so they don't do any operations or anything major there, but they do a clinic surgery type thing. So you can go and see a vet, you can pick up prescriptions, that sort of thing. But because they're so short on vets, they've had to consolidate everything back to their main branch. The vet I saw is lovely, and clearly she's worked with small animals before, but guinea pigs are actually considered exotics, and I think vets who are prepared to operate on exotics are few and far between. Guinea pigs are renowned for having very poor recoveries from anaesthetic and operations. So on that Friday I got to see the vet, and she agreed that there was a big problem, and she took an aspiration from the lump. So she popped a needle into the lump and tried to get some cells out, popped them onto a slide and looked at them under a microscope. She was pretty darn sure they were just normal inflammatory cells, not anything untoward. She gave us some Baytril, which is a pretty standard antibiotic to be given to guinea pigs. I understand there are better ones. Baytril just seems to be the one that non-exotic vets are happy to go with, but it does have issues with the digestion, so you do have to be careful and be supporting with, ideally with a probiotic as well. So I was told to give Evie 5 days worth of the Baytril and keep going with the Metacam and see how we're doing, and come back for a checkup, and then probably the following day they would try and actually operate on her. On the Tuesday we had our checkup appointment. I was all loaded into the car with Evie. We were ready to go, and my husband opened the car door and said, "We've got a problem. the vet's stuck in emergency surgery, she can't see you today. So I spoke to the receptionist and explained what this appointment was about, that it was meant to be almost like a pre-op appointment, and that the next day I was supposed to be having potentially a surgery going on. And she said, oh, I can't do anything about that. The vet will see you tomorrow. I said, okay, well, when she comes out of surgery, if she wants to call me, I can explain to her that we've still got the problem. That'll be tomorrow. Okay, fine. All right, no problem. I know you're short-staffed and emergencies happen. So the following day, packed Evie up again and just decided, come what may, I was having my appointment for her. I wasn't happy with the fact that the lump wasn't getting any smaller, and I felt like she was feeling lighter, so she probably wasn't managing to eat as much as she had been, and we were now starting to lose a little bit of weight, which also makes her a poorer candidate for surgery. If she's losing weight, less chance of recovery. So I saw the same vet, and she apologised profusely for not being able to see us the day before, and checked Evie over and said she felt the lump was actually slightly bigger. And yes, Evie had definitely lost weight. She lost about 200 grams, which, when you're only 1.1 kilos, that's a significant weight loss in the space of a week. So yeah, she said, right, we talked about surgery. Yes. Well, because we're so short on vets at the moment, there's only 2 in the practice who are prepared to operate on guinea pigs, and one of those is off sick. Right? So I want to refer you. I'm thinking, why didn't you do that, like, at least yesterday? Or, I don't know, how about get the ball rolling last Friday when we came in? Yeah, it's obviously a significant issue. I've never had an issue like this in all the years I've kept guinea pigs. Something is not right. This has happened suddenly, and it's affecting her, and she can't advocate for herself, so I have to advocate for her. So we got referred to an exotics vet who is about 3/4 of an hour away from home. I've been here before. I've had 2 of the guinea pigs spayed here. That was Phoebe and Cherry. And I know that they're great. I've just taken her in and seen a very commanding vet. Very confidence-inspiring vet. He agreed that something very peculiar was going on with Evie's teeth. He said that actually we could have increased the amount of Metacam we were giving Evie, and I said, well, I just went with what was prescribed, and he said, yeah, don't worry though, we'll get her on the right dose. Agreed with the Baytril. Well, he agreed with antibiotic. He was pleased that we'd started on the liquid vitamin C, and when I said that she'd been losing weight, and he asked if she was eating normally, I said that she seems to be, but we were also now supporting her with a critical care compound, so a powder that you mix up with water and then feed through a syringe without a needle, just in their mouth, and start dropper it in. And actually she really likes it, and she's sort of trying to hang on to the end of the syringe to get more, which is nice, because trying to hand feed a guinea pig is tough. Little wrigglers, and they've got very sharp pointy teeth even when they're in pain with those teeth. And she was already having 3 syringes of stuff anyway, so she was having her painkiller, her antibiotic and her vitamin C. So then giving her another syringe full of something, oh, she's not going to like this. But she liked the flavour, so hurrah, that was fine. And she's still eating her veggies, and I've been picking her fresh grass, and she's been eating that. She's been eating hay. She appears to be eating nuggets. How successful she's been, not really sure. I'm just concerned that this lump isn't getting any smaller, and I'm now starting to see scabbing on it. It's not right. So I'm going to insert some photographs here. These were taken this morning and are after 6.5 days worth of antibiotic and possibly 9 days worth of Metacam pain relief, which is also an anti-inflammatory. Thank you. He wants to remove a decent piece of the lump so that if he needed to send that off for analysis he could do. And then he said he has something called a cryo pen. Not sure what that is. I will try and find out. Cryo. Maybe it's freezing. And he just happens to have a cryo pen in the surgery at the moment. He said it's not something that's normally available to the practice. They've borrowed it, or they have it on loan for another patient, and Evie's stars all aligned. We were able to get this appointment fairly quickly because they'd had a cancellation. He happens to have the cryo pen in, so yeah, fingers crossed everything will go smoothly for her. They're doing it right now because they have the luxury of this cryo pen. He's just like, yeah, let's do that right now. I have no idea how much it's going to cost. Her health is more important than that. So once we know a little bit more, I'll be back, and yeah, we'll talk about what happens next. It's 3 hours later and I'm back at the vet's to pick up Evie. The procedure went pretty well, I think. The vet said that the lump was indeed very strange, but he said he's taken a really good size biopsy, which he is sending off for analysis, and he has managed to do some cryosurgery with the cryo pen. Hopefully that, yeah, has reduced her gummy bump and maybe her teeth will start to settle down. He is prescribing her another dose of antibiotics and more pain relief, much more than I was giving her. So, good. I'm glad about that. I just wish they were a bit closer to home. Never mind. Right, I'm going to go and get her now. It's the next day, and for some reason my camera decided not to record any audio for me, so I'm doing a little voiceover. Apologies for the random hand movements that don't relate to what I'm saying. This is the Metacam pain relief. I give it to her in a couple of goes because it's quite a lot of liquid to try and take in. I don't want her to choke on it, and I also don't want to lose any down her chin or anywhere else because she has spat it back out again. So we'll just give her a minute to swallow what she's got, and then we'll try and give her the rest. She really doesn't appreciate this at all. Just let her settle down again. This is the EmaAid critical care that I was talking about. It's a powder compound that you mix with water, and you're supposed to give, I think it's 30 millilitres per kilogram of weight. Evie is currently weighing 0.96 of a kilogram, so aiming for 30 millilitres a day, but knowing that she is also eating other things, so she probably doesn't need quite that much. As you can see, she really, really likes this stuff. She's trying to eat it off the spoon. So we're just using a syringe without a needle, and we've cut the end off so that the nozzle is a little bit wider. When you're using the other sort of critical care, which is made by Oxbow, it's quite chunky, quite fibrous, and that's really hard to squeeze through a syringe to feed. It absorbs an awful lot of water and gets really hard to syringe really quickly. This Emerade IC one is much smoother and goes in via syringe very easily, and you can see how much she likes it. Bless Evie, she's so sweet. Oh, poor Evie. Got it all over her whiskers. Now we've brought her some grass in from the garden, and you can see she's wolfing that down really easily, which is fantastic. Guinea pigs can suffer after operations, or if they're not well, from something called gut stasis. So if they're not eating and drinking properly, their gut just stops, and that is unfortunately really bad news for a guinea pig. It's very hard to get them out of gut stasis and keep them out. Once they've gone into it once, then it's very easy for them to drop into it again, and it's horrid. So it's really great that she's able to eat this grass on her own, and you can see they're quite long pieces of grass that she's managing to eat there, and again that's all great for the gut motility, just keeping things moving through that system. Long fibres are better than short fibres. And we did a very quick count up. Evie is now the most expensive guinea pig we own. This video is titled The Importance of Having a Vet Fund. The first consultation that we had, which included the Baytril antibiotic, came to £55.59. The second consultation, where we were told we would be referred, came to £26.05. And this is the bill from the exotics vets yesterday. The consultation fee, do excuse Katie in the background, x-rays, samples, getting those samples analysed by a laboratory, the cryosurgery, more antibiotics, more pain relief, came to £615 and 6p. So, yes, have a vet fund. Put a little bit of money into it every single month. Hopefully you won't ever need to touch it, but if you do, if you have an emergency like this, even with a little animal, the bills can be big. Hello. We make sure we keep a very healthy vet fund just in case something like this happens. And in fact, we've had cheaper dog emergencies than this one. Right, that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to rate, share and subscribe to me here on YouTube. And until next time, bye!